Stay with PBS 39 as we focus on education. United Way celebrates a century of work in the Lehigh Valley. Learn how its Community Schools initiative aims to level the playing field for kids across the region. Plus, a local summer camp gives girls tools for success. These stories and more up next on Focus.
Funding for Focus is provided by Univest Banking, Insurance, Investments, the supporters of the PBS 39 Full Steam Ahead initiative, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for Focus, recorded at the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39. I'm Laura McHugh. Throughout this episode, we focus on education, starting with an organization celebrating 100 years of service in our region, United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley.
The United Way, when it was first formed in 1918, collected $100,000 in that year. And if you think about that as what was going on, the war was ending, World War I was ending, that's a phenomenal amount of money. To have the United Way continue to do as well as it's done and morphed over the years into now raising over $12 million is a phenomenal step and a tribute to the giving of our valley.
There's a lot of need, and it's widespread without the community, from young children to senior citizens. Everyone is facing some kind of need. I think United Way tries to reach a lot of core groups that need assistance.
I think their mission has actually been pretty consistent over the years. What has changed are the needs of the community, so those needs have grown significantly, and the United Way has done a great job of keeping up with those growing needs.
Today, the role of the United Way is so much different. They've become a true advocate in the community.
The first 100 years have been remarkable, but in the last 5 or 10 years, the momentum has been tremendous.
Collective impact is a focus on 4 key objectives. What the United Way does is looks at organizations that serve and have programs tailored to those key objectives.
The United Way has really stepped out in a leadership role to connect so many agencies across the valley. They serve as the one umbrella organization that really has a good handle on the true needs of our community.
In addition to the funding that United Way provides, they really provide resources and support for us to do our jobs well.
Well, the perfect example, I think, of that convening and the collective impact that the United Way brings to the Valley, and particularly in education, is the Community Schools movement.
I would hope the 100-year anniversary really highlights all the things that United Way stands for and all the things they've done. And we're at a point where I think we can really start to accelerate and really grow from here.
There's so many things that are happening that are changing the way that we're going to interact with each other, and I believe the United Way will still be able to go ahead and be the beacon and be able to have that personal touch.
Not one entity alone, be it the United Way or the school district, can really provide students what they need to be successful. It requires the entire village. So collaboration is key, and I think the United Way does that extremely well.
Special thanks to our partners at ASR Media Productions for that segment. We continue the conversation with United Way's Senior Director of Education, Jill Pereira. Jill, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Jill, take us back to the origins of the Community Schools initiative and movement in the Lehigh Valley.
Sure. Back in 2005, our United Way was investing in family centers, and they were really looking for a more holistic model to be able to serve and meet all of the needs of students. So they did a little bit of national research and found the community school model, which was being implemented very successfully at the time in New York City.
What does that model look like?
Well, it really requires an organization to partner with a public school building and collectively hire a full-time staff person who works in that building, and that person's entire role is to really intentionally coordinate programs and services that meet the needs identified with the kids and the families.
How has it grown and changed since starting in 2005?
Well, I think we launched initially with 2 schools in the Lehigh Valley, and maybe we didn't have such a direct focus on what we were trying to accomplish other than maximizing services. And where we've come now is we have 15 community schools across the Lehigh Valley in Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton school districts, as well as Bangor. There's an additional 7 schools in that network. that are in some form of development of community schools. And our focus, our laser focus right now is intentionally coordinating those programs and services to get to better academic outcomes. So third grade reading has really become the primary goal that we're trying to achieve.
What are the outcomes you've been able to trace so far?
I mean, there are so many, from systems level outcomes really with our school districts, realizing they need to double down on their own professional development for quality instruction in the classroom so that the enhanced services that our coordinators are bringing in can really fill those gaps. But very specifically, we see some great outcomes happening related to attendance. Our schools are all tracking something called chronic absenteeism. And South Mountain Middle School in Allentown reduced their chronic absenteeism rate from 20% to 9.4% in just 2 years. And Dunnigan in Bethlehem reduced their chronic absenteeism from 12% to 7%.
How many of your schools are in the middle school level, the elementary level, and are there any high schools that are considered community schools?
We don't have any high schools yet that are considered community schools, although we're starting to have those conversations because we're really interested in the pipeline of supporting kids from birth all the way through high school graduation and into career and college. We have 5 middle schools that are identified and in some stage of development, and then we have the balance of those are elementary schools. So currently 15 elementary schools with coordinators.
What do you hear from the teachers, parents, and families who are involved in these schools?
Well, the notion that schools can't do it alone certainly resonates with everybody that we talk to. I think the schools feel really proud that they have partners in the community that are supporting what their mission is, which is to teach kids and have them be successful academically and otherwise. And so they feel really proud that United Way and other partners have stepped up to fill that role. From students and parents who maybe don't understand or know all of the background logistics of how these supports are coming to bear, they're just really happy to have the opportunities that are afforded to them in the buildings where we're implementing this model.
And what is United Way's role in the community schools?
Well, we're the champion for the model, which means we hold the responsibility for evaluating all of the outcomes. We are the data drivers, we are the folks that are out fundraising for this work, and most recently we are helping to craft state legislation. So we're influencing a couple of state organizations that are crafting legislation that's supportive of community schools. Community schools found its way into our state education plan for the first time in the history of the Commonwealth with Secretary Rivera at the helm. So we believe the future is limitless for this work.
What is the future in the Lehigh Valley? What are the next steps for community schools in our region?
Well, in our 22 school network, we have 6 schools that are currently being supported by an AmeriCorps Vista volunteer because we don't have the funding that we need to hire a full-time paid staff. And so, so we're always looking to fundraise more to bring those 6 schools online with a full-time community school coordinator. And then we need to go deeper. So when all of our children are reaching every benchmark that is set for them, both academically and social emotionally, then we can kind of move on to broadening out and making that bigger.
Jill, thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations on 100 years of work in the Lehigh Valley.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. In our next story, we continue to focus on education with a specific look at workforce development. For that, here's Focus reporter Brittany Garzillo.
Thanks, Laura. Data from the United States Department of Labor shows that employment of carpenters is projected to grow 6% from 2014 to 2024. Employment of plumbers is expected to grow 12%, and for electricians, 14%. How will we meet this demand? Well, this past summer, area organizations joined forces to provide hands-on training for aspiring female talent. Take some saws, add hammers, power tools, some words of encouragement for good measure.
All right.
And what do you get?
I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
The groundwork for girls to explore the construction industry in a free summer program called Let's Build Construction Camp for Girls.
The Let's Build Construction Camp for Girls is a week-long day camp for girls to explore the world of construction through architecture, engineering, and learning hands-on construction training.
Hands-on training that includes the crafts of carpentry, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and finishing trades like painting, tiling, and masonry.
What they experienced here, probably many people will not experience in a lifetime.
Alongside a team of professionals, 20 young ladies measured, marked, and fabricated fully functioning walls from the ground up.
We start off with getting the girls their blueprints. They get to go over everything, look at what they're going to be doing for the week. And then they move on to putting each trade in order of how you would actually do it out in the field.
Today we worked with PVC pipe, and that was for a drain line. So we had to drill a hole in our walls and then install the pipe, and we had to measure and cut. We also did HVAC skills. We installed a vent.
They also installed lighting, put up drywall, and learned the art of interior design.
I want to own my own business in plumbing. It's teaching me all the different things that you need to maintain a household and probably do your own work.
Some girls just think construction is not for them or they wouldn't be good at it, but this gives you a really broad idea of what goes on and what kind of jobs you can have.
Jobs currently underrepresented by women, according to Kristen Fallon.
There's such a large deficit of people in construction as a whole. There's actually a 2 million workforce shortage throughout all of the United States, and the deficits are even greater with women in construction. We believe that there is approximately only 3 to 7% of women in the construction industry.
Women are present, but they can be very much more present, and that's what we need. That's the impetus behind the camp.
The inaugural Lehigh Valley Camp is a collaborative partnership among 3 area organizations devoted to training the future construction workforce.
What this is showing the girls is there's a lot of careers out there that may not require a college education that they can step right into out of high school and be very productive in society as well as monetarily to themselves.
And what's a camp without a little competition? At the end of the week, teams of 4 put their hammering skills to the test in a timed nailing challenge. Participants included professionals from Home Depot, State Representative Zach Mako, and even yours truly. When the time came, my team didn't disappoint.
Great job, guys. I think that building the confidence, the girls had never picked up a hammer and nail before, and then they were competing in a competition with some pretty competitive times too, so I was pretty impressed.
In the end, my team didn't come in first place.
The girls from Home Depot!
Then again, this camp wasn't about winning or losing, but about building skills and memories.
We're hoping that the girls will leave here with having a sense of empowerment and leadership, and that they have an honored place in this industry.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Brittany. Where were you during the solar eclipse on August 21st? While I enjoyed the view from the Steel Stacks campus in Bethlehem, Brittany joined hundreds of kids and families in Allentown.
The day started off sunny, but as time ticked closer to 2:42 p.m., clouds rolled over the Lehigh Valley. The skies darkened just a little, and behind specially made glasses, eyes widened.
I was like really excited because I never saw like a total eclipse before, and I was like,
About 1,000 science lovers of all ages made their way to the Da Vinci Science Center in Allentown for a glimpse of the solar eclipse.
We are celebrating the Great American Eclipse here at Da Vinci Science Center, where we'll see about 75% totality of the sun covered in the moon's shadow here. Solar eclipse is essentially a very good relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth, where the moon actually moves between the sun and the earth, casting a shadow down to certain parts.
I was like so cool because that was my first time I ever saw the solar eclipse.
The best part for me is I watched the full solar eclipse in 1995 back in India, so this is my second in my lifetime.
According to NASA, the last total solar eclipse seen from the contiguous United States occurred on February 26, 1979.
Eclipses happen on Earth around every 18 months. The only problem is a lot of them happen over the ocean. They might happen in different areas of the world.
And if you missed the eclipse this year, NASA says the next total solar eclipse will occur on April 8th, 2024.
If you bought a pair of solar eclipse glasses, don't throw them away. Keep them for the next time. That way you'll be able to view the next solar eclipse. They are pretty rare, so it's unique that we're going to get one that's relatively close in time to us.
It was really cool, and it was like these glasses made it look even better.
Neighbors shared more than spectacles.
Figure I'm 71, who knows if I'll see the next one, so I'm ready. And it is so exciting. People are so friendly and so nice here. We're all sharing glasses back and forth. It was great.
While the peak of the eclipse was over in minutes, crowds left with memories to last a lifetime.
All in all, it's just been awesome to see the Lehigh Valley respond so positively to this awesome scientific event and really see their true passion come out.
For PBS 39, I'm Brittany Garzillo, reporting.
Well, we made lots of memories of our own this summer, including our week spent sharing our love of television and video with the PBS 39 Production U Class of 2017.
3, 2, 1.
PBS 39 Production U is the Lehigh Valley's only summer camp that gives high school students the opportunity to spend a week in a working television station.
I wanted to come because I'm a theater major at Charter Arts, so I felt that it would really enhance my acting performance if I knew what was going on backstage. And it's something that I've always been interested in and I never knew a lot about.
I wanted to come back because I wanted to improve on my skills from last year. Last year I was an editor, and this year I decided to try something new. This year I decided to become an anchor.
With support from PBS 39's award-winning production staff, 30 high school students worked in teams to produce, write, videotape, edit, direct, and anchor 3 unique programs.
I really enjoyed meeting new people who have the same interests as me, and also learning more about videography and how to work a camera.
Everybody watches TV, everybody watches the news, and through this camp you see how everything's created step by step, and it's really eye-opening and exciting to go behind the scenes of all these shows that you've seen on TV.
You get to see yourself grow, and you get to see other people grow along with you, which brings you closer. And at the end of the week, you're sort of like this tight little family, and I'm going to really miss these people that I'm working with.
In addition to improving their video production techniques, these students also enhance their leadership, communication, problem solving, and teamwork skills.
It's just really fun to put it all together and then to be able to watch your final product and see how much work you put into it and how easy it comes together.
It feels awesome knowing that someone your age can work together and create something that looks as professional as someone that works in a full studio such as PBS 39.
My favorite part of the week is definitely meeting new people and getting to work with the professionals because everybody is so friendly and so welcoming.
It's crazy to think that I'm working with people that have been Emmy nominated or have won Emmys because they're so smart and so great at what they do, and to know that I'm getting the best possible education in this field is really great.
I really want to go into film as a career later in life, and I think this is a great opportunity to learn communication skills and leadership skills, along with learning videography and anything else I want to learn on the way.
My favorite part of the week is Friday when we do the actual broadcast. I'm usually a little bit nervous, but usually it's just so exciting just to, finally feel like you're part of a real broadcast, because I really want to do broadcast journalism when I grow up.
Even if you're not especially looking to go into broadcast production later in life, this camp can teach you leadership skills and communication skills and make connections throughout the business world, and is a great opportunity to anybody who wants to learn.
We've all been so impressed and inspired by the students' hard work and dedication in creating a production you can be proud of. Thanks to everyone here at PBS 39 who participates in PBS 39's Production U program and makes it possible. We always enjoy that program, and I love seeing where the students go after high school. We have so many of them that go on to major in media in college, and many of them who are media working professionals now who participated in year 1 and year 2 in that program 7 or 8 years ago.
That's right. We have a lot of graduated classes from Production U now, and some of them have been in the business now for a long time.
You're right.
Yeah, or they've moved on and become interns here or externs, and so it's really nice to see them blossom and grow.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a really educational summer here at PBS 39. Brittany learned a lot about the solar eclipse.
That's right, I did. It was so fun being with those families and getting to see it in action. And we also learned how important it was to get your solar eclipse glasses way ahead of time, right? Because stores were sold out. I couldn't get my hands on a pair until I finally got to Da Vinci that day. So we were very fortunate, but many people had to make their own.
So I held on to mine in case I'm available to cover the next solar eclipse. But here at the station, we have a bunch of educators, and they were actually making those cereal box projectors.
Yes.
And that was really neat. I had no idea how they worked prior to that, and that was a lot of fun to use those as well.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait a while for the next one.
Yeah.
I missed this one, but I'll just wait for the next one.
Thank you, Grover. Thank you, Brittany. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. This program is recorded at the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39 in Bethlehem.